Chapter 34. Got something for me? A tramp asked, holding forward a paper cup as Anders entered the bus shelter. You look head to toe in shit. I've been trekking, Anders said, turning, showing the tramp his backpack. I need to clean up for my journey. The tramp nodded. He showed Anders his paper cup again. Are there any toilets? There is if you've got something for me. The tramp sat on his newspapers, on the floor looking up at Anders. I might be able to help, but, he waved the cup, I don't do something for nothing. Anders smiled, looking over him, at the newspapers and cigarette ends that surrounded him, at his drunken, muddy eyes staring upwards. Again he smiled and placed the bus ticket to Cairns in the tramp's cup. Now, where are the toilets? The tramp looked at the ticket while stroking his beard with his fingers. Then he picked up an empty bottle of cider and showed it to Anders. Your ticket's no good, he said. I can't get drunk on a ticket. You could sell it though, Anders said. It doesn't leave for 20 minutes. Someone might be heading that way. Go sell it, go hustle. I'd rather not, the tramp said. Though I do like your cap. His brown leather jacket lay across the floor. He hid the ticket underneath it and looked at Anders. Buy the ticket back from me, he said. Buy the ticket so I can make you an offer for the cap. Anders laughed and then realised the tramp was being serious. Look, he said. I need the cap more than you think. He felt it top of his head with both hands. Just sell the ticket to someone else. I'm broke. I have nothing to give. You're good, the tramp laughed, showing no teeth. You sure can hustle. I just need to clean up, Anders said. But what happened to your leg? Please, Anders said. I think we're done. The tramp lit a half-smoked cigarette and watched him limp away. Wait, he then said, Anders pausing now, turning. Where the hell did you learn to hustle? Further on, Anders passed a newspaper stand and a bottle shop. He bought whiskey and drank from the bottle while walking, tilting his head back, tipping the last of the paracetamol into his mouth. A flickering light then caught his eye. He staggered on, dazed by the light, blinking, leaning now and then on the brick wall of the bus shelter. Under the light, as the tramp had advised, were public toilets, and he entered now, locking the door behind him, stepping over brown puddles and wet paper towels, retching at inescapable smells of urine. He dropped his backpack. He looked around with watery eyes at cigarette ash over the sink, at smears of shit on the walls and black marker pen on the cubicle. Suddenly he felt very cold. An air vent was blowing a breeze over his shoulders, and he shivered, crossing his arms, listening to the rain begin again, slowly at first, then hard and heavy, pelting the roof, coming in sideways through the vent. He took more whiskey and washed his face with cold water, twitching his shoulders, wincing painfully as he rubbed his cut face with his good hand. Then he undressed to just his underpants and stared in the mirror, smiling at his cuts and bruises and the scraggy-looking sling around his knee. He saw old cuts and new ones, tiny ones on his face from the shattered glass, clotted blood around the stitching on his shoulder. He wet back his hair, he drank more whiskey, and put his dirty clothes into a bin, covering them with paper towels, urinating on them. Occupied, he then said, hearing someone near the door. But it seemed the person, or baby elephant, Anders thought by the clumsy way it banged the door, wasn't accepting his answer. It kept banging and talking in a panicked voice. Hey, buddy! The baby elephant sounded American. You gonna be much longer, buddy? He was American. I got me a baked Twinkie ready to drop. I can't hold out. Believe me, buddy. I've tried. Anders didn't say anything. He was pulling clothes from his backpack, hopping around and laughing at himself in the mirror, trying to step into a fresh pair of pants. Thud, 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 bang, bang. Anyone in there? Thud, thud, bang. I heard a voice. Wait, please, Anders said, throwing his muddy pumps into the bin, stepping into some flip-flops. Buddy, sorry to prompt, buddy, the American said, but I've spicy dogs with macho relish. He spoke sincerely. And boy, oh boy, the wife did warn me about it, but I got everything fully loaded. Suddenly, he was farting. Jesus, Anders said, listening, other side of the door. Just wait! He pulled the purple sweater over his head and looked in the mirror, pleased it was long and baggy enough to cover his broken arm. Then he looked at the door. The farting continued. Jesus! I don't like to prompt, the American said again, but can I get an estimated time? Another fart escaped him. "I want to know what I'm dealing with here," he said. "Those dang sticky ribs." "I won't be long," Anders said. "I'm nearly done." He put his cap back on. He wore dark glasses to hide his cuts. "The wife gives me hell when I'm this way," the American said. "She did warn me." "Yep," Anders said. "What you doing though?" "I won't be long." "How long though?" Anders looked in the mirror again. Liking his cap and glasses, feeling as though he was in a movie. Harrison Ford in The Fugitive, he thought, placing the whiskey bottle in his backpack. "What you doing now?" "Relax, I'm nearly done." "But what stage are you at?" "Jesus, I'm just cleaning up. I'm nearly done, buddy." "But I've not hit a flush yet." "I'll flush you in a minute." "What was that, buddy?" "Nothing." Anders pulled a chain. The toilet flushed. "Praise the Lord," the American said. Anders said nothing. He stood with his backpack over his shoulder, feeling his pockets, looking around and seeing paper towels marked with blood on the sink area. He gathered them together quickly, put them down the toilet and pulled the chain. "Double flush, huh?" the American said. "I might need me one of those."